It's going to be a fun day. We have Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and he is going to share with us how to keep ourselves from cancer, especially breast cancer.
The Lillian McDermott
Show. Oh boy, that's really loud, Brian. There you go. Okay, though you guys can't hear it, but it was like blaring in my ears. So here we go. We're going to be talking with Dr. Joel Fuhrman. We're going to talk about how to reverse and prevent cancer, especially breast cancer. So get ready to dance. Okay, you can turn it up now, just a little bit. You know where I'll be right here. There you go.
At whenyounneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn again. Here's Lillian.
Hello, my listening friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, will feel empowered to learn, embrace a new truth, and live the life of your dreams. Now, today we have Dr. Joel Fuhrman in the house, as we do once a month, and he is going to teach us some great news that hopefully you will hold deeply in your heart and start changing your lifestyle as a result of this new truth. Now, and I just want to ask you, because Dr. Fuhrman is here, have you had your G-bombs today? Have you made it a part of your plan? Now, today's show may convert you to wanting to have G-bombs every day, because Dr. Joel Fuhrman has been working hard for such a long time on our behalf to conduct clinical trials that give you the link and help you understand the link between nutrients that are important for our body that will help you. G-bombs a day, keep the doctor away. And so Dr. Joel Fuhrman is here because he is part of the Nutritional Research Foundation. And he has some excellent news. He's been doing some clinical trials for women with breast cancer. So we're going to talk about that today. So listen up. Dr. Joel Fuhrman is just absolutely the most wonderful guest that I have all the time. He is an author, a physician, a speaker, a media personality who goes to Dr. Oz and on the same day is on the Lillian McDermott radio show. That's how welcoming and encouraging he is. And so he focuses on a micro and macro rich diet. And since it is our sole purpose in life, and I want to get him on the show as quickly as possible to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Dr. Joel Fuhrman is back to do just that. Welcome, Dr. Fuhrman, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Hi, Lily. Great to be here.
I am glad that you are. And so today, Dr. Fuhrman, you're going to update us because about a year ago, we started talking, actually it was in February sometime, I think this year maybe, and we started talking about the Nutritional Research Foundation and the clinical trials that you were doing to prevent and reverse breast cancer. Can you give us a little bit of an idea why the foundation was started?
Well, the Nutritional Research Foundation was started because we feel that so much in America could change the way medical care is practiced, and people are giving hope not to have heart attacks, not to have strokes, not to get cancer with the advances in modern nutritional science, and prove what can be accomplished with nutritional excellence. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. The other half is that therapeutically, we want to show that high blood pressure, diabetes, and early stage cancer, headaches, lots of diseases, including autoimmune conditions, can be reversed through specifically designed nutritional protocols, rather than taking medications that we know cause cancer the rest of our life. They cause cancer later on in life. We can give people the opportunity to say, you don't have to have psoriasis anymore. You don't have to be on these drugs. You don't have to be diabetic. You can be non-diabetic. And this works. And we have pilot studies that show it works. But unless you do large controlled trials with large numbers of people, the medical profession is reticent to start embracing this and practicing it with patients that come in with medical conditions. So
Yeah.
the Nutritional Research Foundation really wants to show that we can teach doctors the right tools to get people well.
And you want to have 10,000 women in the study, right?
That's right. We need to follow 10,000 women for probably 10 years to really have a very well accepted in study. And we're doing pretty good. We have almost 2,000 enrollees so far.
Okay, so are you going to tell us how we're going to be able to combine and add to these 2,000 for those of us who are wanting to be a part of this research? Can we join at any time?
Yes, it's rolling admission. So we want to join. We'll join at any time over the first 5 years of enrollment.
Okay.
And so I want people to go to nutritionalresearch.org, and they can see the Nutritarian Women's Health Study link right there for more information. And it gives women a 30-day window where they can learn information about the study and what they're expected to do, and review the materials for 30 days, and then decide whether they want to opt in and become part of the study or not, after they had the 30 days of learning and decision to make their decision.
That's awesome. And so once you join this, is there a cost to it, or is it completely free, Dr. Fuhrman?
It's completely free, and they also get a lot of good benefit from it. They get my book, Super Immunity, and they get certain materials, videos, books, information to read, and they have Facebook groups, they have motivations, but they're pledging to really take great care of their health. They're pledging to eat the G-bombs regularly. They're pledging to lose weight, to get it to a favorable weight, to learn to keep connected. They have to fill out forms twice a year. They have to get the blood tested once every 2 years to be part of that study.
Very good. And we're going to continue to learn about the nutritionalresearch.org, the foundation. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Joel Fuhrman when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. And here we go. More truth with Dr. Joel Fuhrman, a new truth that we need to embrace. And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. Today's teacher is Dr. Joel Fuhrman. You can find Dr. Fuhrman just about anywhere. Dr. Oz, PBS. Where else? Where else are you, Dr. Fuhrman? Oh, videos. What is the Eating
I was
Alive?
on Dr. Oz yesterday.
You're on Dr. Oz yesterday. That's right. And you're also on Eating You Alive. Were you on Forks Over Knives?
No.
No, not Forks Over. There was another one that you were on just recently, other than Eating You Alive. But you're in a lot of the documentaries. He's highly sought after. And you, my listening friend, get to listen to him for free on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And you can always go to whenyouneedafriend.com if you want to just put Fuhrman, Dr. Fuhrman's name in my little search bar. And every single show, from how to become a Nutritarian to what we're talking about today, will be there at your disposal. So I want to encourage you to do that and catch up with us so we can continue to grow together. Dr. Fuhrman, we talk about a Nutritarian lifestyle. If for those people that are just stumbling on the show today, or maybe want to learn more about being a Nutritarian, what are the basics of becoming a Nutritarian?
That's right. Well, the biggest basic is eating a lot of vegetables, obviously, because vegetables are naturally low in calories. They don't have sugar in them. They're very low in carbohydrates. They're slowly absorbed into the bloodstream, and they fill you up. So vegetables naturally crowd out other foods and make you more comfortable eating less calories. So this is a vegetable-based diet, not a meat-based diet, not a grain-based diet, not a wheat-based diet, not a oil-based diet. It's a vegetable-based diet. It's not a fruit-based diet. Even though people can eat fruit, it's still we're trying to eat a lot of vegetables.
Yes.
But the number one principle of longevity is getting a little less calories in an environment of micronutrient adequacy. In other words, let me say this one more time. We want to get an excellent supply of micronutrients. That's vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. An excellent supply, and all those micronutrients humans need, while not consuming excessive calories. And my scientific findings have shown, and I published this in the scientific literature, that as people eat more micronutrient-rich food, as they eat more green vegetables and mushrooms and onions and peppers and, and berries and seeds, as they eat more micronutrient-rich foods, it naturally suppresses the appetite. It stops the addictive drive to overeat and removes cravings, and it makes people comfortable eating the right amount of calories or eating fewer calories. So it kind of like, if you just do it, it works. Even though it's about mild caloric restriction, if you eat these high nutrient foods, it naturally mildly calorically restricts you because you don't want to eat as many calories because it fills up the stomach. So we're talking here that I want people to be able to articulate that. We're talking about eating a diet that's micronutrient dense while not consuming excess calories. And the second principle is that your diet has to be hormonally favorable, because certain hormones drive fat storage, and they drive cellular replication, and they drive cancer. And those hormones, the main hormones that drive cancer and damage, are estrogen, insulin, and insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. And fat on the body makes you insulin resistant, and fat on the body increases estrogen production. And when you eat high sugary foods like honey and maple syrup and coconut sugar or guava nectar, whether people think they're healthy sweeteners or not, when you're sweetening your food with these concentrated sugars, and especially foods that contain white flour. That means when you eat a pancake, when you eat a donut, when you eat a croissant, when you eat a cookie, when you eat a pizza, when you eat these foods with white flour, it's the same as eating marshmallows and candy, because they rush into the bloodstream as glucose. And it's the high amount of glucose entering the bloodstream all at once that when you eat honey, it doesn't matter, it's natural, it has some nutrients, whether it's maple syrup, whether it's white bread, these glucose rushes into the bloodstream, makes you crave excess calories, raises insulin. Insulin promotes fat storage. The fat cells produce more estrogen, and it makes you prone to cancer. So these high glycemic carbohydrates raise these hormones to unfavorable levels. And too much animal products also, as animal product intake goes up from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20%, it shoots up a hormone called IGF-1 in the higher consumption of animal products that also produce cellular replication. The growth hormones produce cancer. And when you're fully grown, cellular replication means you're promoting unfavorable cell growth. The Americans eat now more than 30% of calories from animal products, which is somewhat the highest animal protein intake in the world. And it's one of the main reasons we have this high rate of cancer. But if you combine the high glucose, the high sugar with the high protein, then you have the sandwich, or the cancer sandwich, that we get in America with this high rate of cancer killing people.
Very good. This is one of the biggest things. There's people who are vegan that say zero animal products. There's also vegetarians that, will consume dairy products. And so what I love, and going back to what I was sharing with you, the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation embraces a Nutritarian lifestyle. That I was vegan for 4 years, and that was great. It supported my body at the time, but then there were certain nutrients that I was missing out on. So meeting Dr. Joel Fuhrman and learning about a Nutritarian lifestyle brought the balance back in my life that I needed. And so the Nutritarian lifestyle, or diet, or whatever you want to call it, embraces at least 5% animal product. Is that true?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I was looking at your chart when we were together and you had 5% of animal products. Let's talk about that.
No, it's not at least 5%. You could be a vegan on a Nutritarian diet if you supplement it properly too.
Got it. Okay.
Just for disease reversal and maximum health, I don't want people to exceed 5%.
There you go. I misspoke. So maximum of 5%. So that little thing right there, I've had people say to me, "Oh, I could never give up my meat." And I said, "You're not giving up meat. You're embracing good health." But if you can explain to them within that 5%, what could somebody have within that 5%?
Right. So basically, what I'm not telling people exactly how much animal products to eat. But I am saying on a societal level, I want the Americans are eating 30%, and I'm saying 10% has to be the upper limit, because even those people with good genetics start to develop disease when they go up to 15 to 20%. Okay. 10% is the upper limit. But for optimal longevity, for disease reversal, and to maximize health, then we shouldn't err. We should be at the 5% or below figure. Some people may be healthy enough in the 5 to 10% range, but I want everybody to be healthy. That's why the 5% is optimal, or below. And the 5% level is like 10 ounces of animal products a week for a male and maybe 8 ounces for a female. It means
that's,
you can put
that's what I want to know.
2 or 3 ounces a few times a week. You can mix it into into your soup or into your chili or into your vegetable dish. You can cut up a little shrimp, a little scallop. You can put a little turkey. You can flake. You can use that. You can make a delicious burger with 1 ounce of animal products per burger with some beans and mushrooms and onions in there. It tastes meaty. And if you mix tofu, extra firm tofu, and you freeze it, and then you defrost it, it gets crumbly. You mix it with 1 ounce of beef. It absorbs the flavor of the beef. You can make it into a burger with it, and you can make a delicious tasting burger with the beans and the oats in there.
You actually did that on Kelly and
I did it on Kelly and Michael.
Yeah,
right? Michael Strahan was her co-host then
at the time.
And he was telling me how he loved beef burgers, and then he tasted this burger. He said it's the most delicious burger he ever tasted, and was showing people you can make things taste, but it was still, you don't have to be a complete vegan. You could use animal products for flavoring, but you can still eat a diet that's mostly vegetables.
Very good.
The benefit of a vegan diet.
Very good. I wanted to clarify that because many people have said, that's being vegan is too restrictive. And I said, well, this is what's good about Dr. Fuhrman. He gives you a little bit of leeway for optimal health. You can stay within that 5%. So that gives a little bit of okay, now I'll have to give something up. Now, with sweeteners, you talk about sugar. Let's talk about the beauty of the module date. I just did your black bean brownie with the avocado chocolate frosting. My grandchildren, I never told them what was in it. They loved it. And so if it's good, it's approved for children who are just sugarholics. It will be approved for just about anyone. So talk about this, the benefits of the beans and the module dates, how it can sweeten our foods without the processed sugars.
Well, that's right. I mean, what we're saying right now is that we're eating delicious desserts. We can eat chocolate cake and ice cream and all kinds of, but they're good for you. And you feel good eating them. And you can eat bigger portions of them. And you can enjoy it more because they're not as fattening. Because when you sweeten it with fruit or a date, it's the bioflavonoids, it's the anthocyanins, it's the fiber. So now the glucose is being absorbed slowly into the bloodstream. It's not the amount of sugar you consume, it's how rapidly it enters the bloodstream that makes it dangerous. When you eat a bean, those carbohydrate calories come into the bloodstream over 2 to 3 hours. If the same amount of carbohydrate calories in a piece of white bread, they come into your body in 5 to 10 minutes. It's how fast they came in that makes the glucose go up. And when you regularly eat beans and onions and mushrooms and greens, it thickens the biofilm that lines the villi of the small intestines. The villi are those finger-like projections. The lining of the small intestines is like it's like little snakes sticking out of the wall, and the lining gets coated with billions of bacteria. We have 10 times the bacteria in the digestive tract than we have cells in the whole body. And you get the bacteria that adhere to the wall and stay there, and it slows the glycemic effect of the glucose passing through when you eat beans and greens. So then when you eat those dates, you eat those mangoes, the glycemic effect is going to be lessened because it's going to be slowed by the bacteria. But when you eat sugar or honey, the bacteria can't slow it down, and it wipes out the good bacteria and promotes unfavorable bacteria because it's too sweet and it doesn't have the fiber and that binds the glucose. So we have a different biological effect when you eat real fruits. And I make a great banana ice cream just by taking 2 frozen bananas, a heaping teaspoon of vanilla bean powder, not vanilla extract, ground vanilla bean powder, and maybe a handful of macadamia nuts or walnuts. So creamy, so smooth and delicious. No dates in there. But if you add a little cocoa powder in, it makes it bitter. Then you have to add 1 medjool date per person to sweeten a little bit because of cocoa powder. But whether we're talking about ice creams, chocolate cake, brownies, apple pie, whatever we want to make, carrot cake, we can make delicious desserts that taste fantastic and that are healthy for you. This is about learning. And as you know, I published a study with over 750 people showing they like the taste of this, their enjoyment of this style of eating as much or more than their old diet. It's not about giving up good food. It's about living longer with happiness and great health.
You're absolutely right. People have to get past these certain truths that they believe, these obstacles that eating healthy somehow tastes like cardboard. I don't know where we got this image, but it is not true. Dr. Joel Fuhrman has over 12 books. I think you have 12 books, or is it over now? Because now with the fast food genocide, that's your latest.
I think it's 12 books.
12 books. We don't know. We've lost count at this
I don't even know. Yeah.
He just pops them out like babies. But for those of you,
I only have 4 babies. I only have 4 children. I pick up books faster than babies.
And so you can go to any of Dr. Fuhrman's, or you can go to drfuhrman.com and listen. Look at some of the recipes. They're like comfort foods with a twist. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Joel Fuhrman when we return worldwide. And we're going to really get deep into the Cancer Research Foundation, the Nutritarian Research.org. And when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com, we'll be right here waiting for you. And I think it was nutritional, right? There we go. Oh yeah. We do need to talk. Well, we'll maybe do another show on that. Yeah. Because we did that a long time ago. I think I hear it. We're starting. And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where our conversations off the air are just as good as on the air. But the conversations off the air are not being recorded, because this is how we like to keep it with Dr. Fuhrman. I like to have my private time with him. So for you, my listening friend, I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Please become a subscriber. There are so many gifts that are a part of becoming a subscriber. One of them is that you'll have the show sent right to your smartphone or tablet. Another thing that I would like for you to do while you're at whenyouneedafriend.com is check out my sponsors. Without them, the show would not be on the air. And let me tell you, my sponsors are like-minded, so I don't have to censor what I say. Everything that we talk about here on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show is a new truth. Now, sometimes we bring information that we're just diving into. We researched a little bit more, and we figure out that that's not what is best for me, and you research it, because it is your responsibility to make sure that everything you put into your body is going to create health. So let's embrace health together. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Check out all my social media. Like me there. Go to YouTube, because you'll get to see Dr. Fuhrman after the show. We put it on YouTube and on Facebook. So that's Lillian's radio show on Facebook. Today we're talking with Dr. Joel Fuhrman. If you have any questions for Dr. Fuhrman, you can call me at 407-373-5959. And I'll say it a little slower again, because I've been accused of saying it too fast. But I'm telling you, you need to put me on your favorites. That way you don't have to listen to the number anymore. 407-373-5959. Today we're talking about the Nutritarian Women's Health Research or Health Study. And so because it is so important that we maintain good health, Dr. Joel Fuhrman is out there spreading the good news, and he is here today, and we're talking about how you can prevent and reverse cancer. So Dr. Fuhrman, thank you again for being so loyal to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, especially when you have people that can promote the heck out of you, like Dr. Oz. And I love the fact that you have your latest book called Fast Food Genocide, and it just came out, right?
Just came out yesterday. Have you tried any of those recipes?
Absolutely. That's when I got the black bean recipe.
In the Fast Food Genocide book?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, because there's great recipes in there.
It's delicious. I love all your 10 and 20 detox has the chickpea curry in a hurry, which I absolutely love making that. I make it almost every week, but sometimes I just take a break and I rotate your recipes, love them. And you know what, Dr. Fuhrman, I will admit that when I make your recipe, I then change it to be a little bit more me. And I make it, I'll add, oh, I could probably add onions here or a little bit of garlic here. Maybe the recipe didn't call for it. But we can all take the baseline of health and customize it to what we grew up in. I grew up in a Spanish-Italian home. So, and you make it the way you grew up with, and if you grew up German, or if you grew up, in a different way, maybe you ate comfort food, you can take this and alter it to you, but keep it healthy. And so, Dr. Fuhrman, this nutrition...
Right, but I try to, but in the books, I try to include Oriental, Thai, Italian, Mexican. I have so many different styles of flavors there.
Absolutely.
People have to find something they love.
I know, but still, if to adjust it to their, because at first they go, oh, I can't handle it. Well, just add a little bit of the spices you grew up with in whatever food, because some people, like with my mom, when my mom is Spanish and when she made Italian food, it tasted like Spanish-Italian food because that's what she liked. So everybody starts to tweak it a little bit as long as you keep the baseline principle healthy. So let's talk about the Nutritarian Women's Health Study and how we can all get involved. I, Dr. Fuhrman, will be signing up after the show to be part of your 10,000 Women Strong.
Terrific. And you go to nutritionalresearch.org to sign up. Because that's the nutritionalresearch.org is the homepage for the Nutritional Research Foundation. The Nutritional Research Foundation, obviously, is a 501c3 nonprofit taking donations so we can do these studies. We're doing a diabetes clinical trial in Boston with a Harvard affiliate hospital. We have studies going on with Northern Arizona University, which houses the Nutritarian Research Office with the Dr. Sutliff is the head doctor taking care of the Nutritarian Women's Health Study at NAU. And I'm on the faculty, the teaching faculty at Northern Arizona University as well. So that's where we're housing that study. But we welcome people from all over the country. There's no cost to join. And it will be motivating for you to be a part of a project that's going to benefit America. And it's going to benefit you because it'll help you motivated to stay on track, to stay on this healthy program. So we're trying to recruit women from all over the country. I think I'm going to be speaking soon to the people at Zumba, telling their people, trying to tell them to get this information out to their women, to the thousands of women that use Zumba, to say,
That's
well,
awesome.
Say no to breast cancer. Because exercise is great and the music is great, but if you're putting bagels and croissants in your mouth, you're still going to get cancer. You got to do the exercise plus the G-bombs. And the G-bombs is that we're going to get 10,000 women that most days are going to eat greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. You see, each one of these individual foods by themselves has been shown to have incredible protection against breast cancer. But when we put together a full dietary portfolio that includes all the foods that protect against breast cancer the most, then they work synergistically. And I mentioned, I think earlier, that there are populations around the world today that have 1/50th the amount of breast cancer that we have in this country.
Yes.
The idea that we can't win the war on breast cancer, that makes the fact that people think breast cancer is just an inevitable consequence of aging, it's just, more people are living longer, we're getting more cancer. We're brainwashed with myths and false information to make it acceptable to get cancer. And then you have all these breast cancer organizations raising money for breast cancer that are just promoting mammograms and promoting drugs for treating cancer. There's nothing telling people not to get cancer. This is our organization is not about detecting cancer, not about treating cancer. It's about never getting it to begin with. It's getting people to stop. We can put all these millions of dollars into treating people with lung cancer, but the best thing was to have them not smoke to begin with.
Correct.
We can put all this money into treating women with breast cancer, but the best thing would have been if they didn't get the cancer to begin with. And we're showing that nutritional excellence is so powerful that it even reverses early stage breast cancer. For example, let me give you one example of one study that was done, okay? Mm-hmm. They did a study with women with breast cancer, and they followed them for 10 years. And they showed that those women who had 1/3 of a milligram of flax seeds a day on the average, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. They had 1/3 of a milligram of lignans. Now, flax seeds contain lignans, but other foods have lignans too. Sesame seeds have lignans, chia seeds has lignans, broccoli has lignans, pineapple has lignans, But the point is that flax seeds are the food with the highest amount of lignans of all other foods. They have 7 milligrams per teaspoon, 7 milligrams per teaspoon, 21 milligrams per tablespoon. And they found in this study that those women that were consuming on the average of 1/3 of a milligram a day had a 71% decreased risk of death or breast cancer recurrence over that 10-year period. Now, our listeners have to recognize that the more the cancer is advanced, the less chance the intervention has to reverse it, the earlier stages, and the best potential for reversal or not getting it is if you start the intervention before you get cancer, even though you have cancer. The earlier you start, the better it's going to work.
Yeah.
But so these women started late. It still worked. They took only 1/3 of a milligram when the dose we're recommending is 20 milligrams, not 1/3 of a milligram. They took such a small amount and it still worked. What if they started earlier? What if they took the right amount, the right dose?
And what can we give it to our children? If we give it to our children.
And it was only the lignans. It wasn't all the other G-bombs. So every one of the G-bonds, when studies showed protection like that. Mushrooms have been shown to reduce 10 grams a day, the size of your thumb, has been shown to reduce the risk of developing breast cancer by more than 64%. The point is if each one of these foods, green cruciferous vegetables, has been shown to reduce breast cancer by more than 50%. But we're putting together a dietary portfolio that includes all these foods and make them taste delicious. That's where we're saying that's where the money's at. It's not just a study on flax seeds. It's not just a study on mushrooms. It's not a study on green vegetables or wild blueberries. It's a study on all these anti-foods put together into one program to maximize the effectiveness, use the correct dosages of these ingredients that are shown to work most effectively, and have nothing missing in your diet. Make sure you have sufficient vitamin D, sufficient DHA, sufficient zinc, sufficient B12. We're making sure that people are supplemented correctly, and we're trying to get people to achieve an ideal weight at the same time. And then we're showing women that they need not fear breast cancer. They don't have to get breast cancer if they do the things they're supposed to be, if they live in a manner that's fitting with the biology of their body.
I love it. I love it. And this is the new truth that we want all of us to embrace, because we don't need to be sick. We can embrace health. We don't need to give up anything. We can embrace health. When I say we don't need to give up, it's a mentality of giving up. Think, because the mind is very powerful. Not giving up, you're embracing. And when you look at life as embracing things that are good for you, your life will change. And the side effects are out of this world. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Joel Fuhrman when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Here we go. Here we go, Dr. Fuhrman. This is our last dance.
We can mention that if you want to on the air.
Yeah, well, I want to stay focused. We can focus on the side effects, and we'll see if it takes us there.
Okay.
And we can do a whole show on that if you like. And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another. And today's teacher is Dr. Joel Fuhrman. I want to encourage you to go to drfuhrman.com, where you can learn a little bit more about a nutritarian lifestyle. But you can also, today's show and specifically is about reversing, preventing cancer, disease in your life. And so we're focusing on cancer today. And I want to encourage you to go to nutritionalresearch.org. I'm going on after the show to sign up to become part of the Nutritarian Women's Health Study. And I want to talk about the benefits of the Nutritarian. What are some of the things that we get to benefit by becoming part of the study? Not only do we get to help heal people, and we're part of history as well with Dr. Fuhrman. But I kind of said that I see people, Dr. Fuhrman, that are working out at the gym, and then after they go home and they'll go to eat some wings and fried foods, and it's almost like a sabotage. But when you eat a nutritarian lifestyle, the side effects are very, very healthy for us. Can you talk about the side effects of a nutritarian lifestyle?
Well, we focused in this conversation about preventing cancer, and we're talking about preventing breast cancer, common breast cancers. But of course, this is really a program to slow the aging process and to extend human longevity, and so people live to be 100 years old with their full mental faculties intact. So they're not in pain, they're not tortured by the medical profession, don't have strokes, don't get demented. So it's not one diet for breast cancer. The G-bombs are not just for breast cancer. They prevent dementia. They keep your mind fully functioning, and they prevent mental illness. We're talking here that when people get older, they become depressed. They lose their joy of living, and that kills them. Their muscles and their bones they get osteoarthritis, and their body is killing them with pain. And then they get tortured by the medical profession before they die, and they're on a million different medications. So we're talking about a total quality of life here, that improving and enjoying our life as we age, enjoying eating and enjoying. So it's getting more pleasure in life. It's actually making life fun. We live to be happy and to enjoy the hours when the years we have. And what good is having extended years if you're stuck in a nursing home and you don't have your mental faculties intact and you can't take care of yourself? So all these things are taken care of by a Nutritarian diet.
Well, that is absolutely truth. When we look at our lifestyle and the choices that we're making, we are either hurting ourselves. Each choice of the fork will embrace health or become, okay, let me just put it this way. The fork can be a weapon of mass destruction, or it can be a tool to embrace total health in our body. So the side effects, people will start releasing weight and start feeling great about what they're doing. Now, let's go back to the Nutritarian Women's Health Study, some of the benefits that we can receive. Do we have to do anything like give our history, provide you with MRIs or mammograms? What do you need from us?
No, we require you to fill out a questionnaire of what you ate in the past, and your parameters, your body weight, and things like that, and your health history. But then you're going to be changing the way you're eating. For many people will be changing the way they're eating, so they're going to be continuing to fill out dietary questionnaires, and their diets are going to be evaluated moving forward in the future too. And we're using new technology that's developed to identify cancer, breast cancer, 10 years before a mammogram can. So we're going to be testing women, and we were encouraging women to join from anywhere from any person over the age of 18 to join, and we don't have to have cancer to join the study. We want healthy people to join, but we also want women with breast cancer to join too. So we have a full gamut, a full variety of women, and those who don't have cancer will actually be getting these very new technology that diagnoses cancer very early, and we'll be able to see and we can magnify how severe it is and see it reverse itself. So the women in the study themselves won't know about this, but their blood tests will be able to see if they had cancer and didn't know it, and if the cancers are being reversed that they had. And those who have cancer and know they have it will be able to measure the severity of it and to see and to show that it's being reversed as they're so we're motivating them, we're teaching them, we're using new technology that enables us to prove that this is working. And it's really very, very fascinating stuff. And the benefit the woman gets too is that her healthy living is going to benefit other women, because we're going to show the results to show that women can prevent and reverse breast cancer.
I think this is so wonderful that what you're doing, Dr. Fuhrman. Your legacy is amazing, that you've dedicated your whole life to this. I've met you several times, and I see how you eat. I mean, you are what you preach. Some people talk the talk, but they don't walk the talk, and you do both. And the excitement when I speak with you, your excitement is so contagious. And I want for you, my listening friends, especially my listening women friends, to consider joining the nutritional study, the Nutritarian Women's Health Study, so that you can be part of changing the way that we look at food. And the recipes are delicious. Now, when you say mostly, Do they have to be 100%? Because I had Dr. Esselstyn say to me, people come to me all the time and they go, I follow your plan 80% of the time. And Dr. Esselstyn will say, well, that's not my plan. My plan is 100% of the time. What do you say about that, Dr. Fuhrman?
Well, I say that whether a woman follows the plan 100% or 90% or even 80%, we still want them enrolled in the study. You know why?
Why?
Because we're tracking what they're eating and we're measuring their compliance with the diet through blood. So we'll be able to compare the people that are following 80% to those that are following 100%. Sure, we want people to follow it 100%. I'm not encouraging anybody to do this 80%. Yeah. But if they did not follow it, we would know that, and we'd be able to classify those people in a group. And because we have 10,000 women, we can compare that group against the group that have followed 100%, and we can show the difference in outcomes from the 80% to the 100% followers. So it still wouldn't, we still don't throw a woman out of the study who doesn't do it 100%.
Very good. Very good. It's good to know because, people ask me all the time, do you eat like this 100%? I go, no, not always. Another question I have for you, when I was going through just recently, the Inspiring Extraordinary Women did a benefit for the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. And on there, I talked about abstaining from sugar and making sure that and then there was alcohol on there because the research that I had picked had alcohol in it. What is the, allowable, I would say, for lack of a better word, alcohol consumption? Because I got the biggest, alcohol. Okay, so what would you say is the allowable alcohol consumption for a woman in this study?
I can't answer that with certainty. But we know that the studies on alcohol in women's breast cancer show that 1 glass a day increases risk by 12 to 15%. So we certainly so if 1 glass a day alcohol is a known carcinogen. It's a known breast carcinogen. So we certainly don't want women to drink alcohol. But if they did have a drink, we want them to limit it to 2 or 3 drinks a week, certainly, because we know 5 or 7 increases their risk significantly.
Very good. And so the point is to live a lifestyle that is going to promote health day in and day out, right?
Absolutely. We have to go with what the studies show and not do what people, they can do whatever they want, but we have to give them the right information to make their decisions on.
One of the shows that we're going to do in the future, for those of you, my listening friend, that embrace a paleo, vegetarian, vegan, ketogenic, there's so many different lifestyles out there, nutritional lifestyles. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman has spent his lifetime researching the benefits of one or the other. That's how you came up with the Nutritarian lifestyle, right, Dr. Fuhrman?
Correct. It's a good exercise to know the flaws in various popular diets, because then you know the science which directs you to make the best choices.
Absolutely. And so I'm really excited that we get to talk about the Nutritarian Women's Health Study today. And I want to encourage you to go to nutritionalresearch.org. Dr. Joel Fuhrman, thank you so much for always sharing your wisdom and your passion on the show.
Thanks, Lily.
And I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Now, my listening friends, you know the truth. You know what to do. So I hope that you go to nutritionalresearch.org and start living the life of your dreams. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.